like awkward.
We all are.
There is awkwardness in every transformation, but there's a quiet confidence too.
Have this possibility to have the big 80s hair.
This Claire from the Breakfast Club.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, yes.
Maybe because 16-year-old Liz Courtemanche, who was born a boy, is transitioning to the gender she says she was always meant to be.
I only chose this because it's like the only feminine outfit I actually own.
This is all part of Liz's emerging, still developing identity.
Yeah, that's great, yeah. You look fantastic, Liz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet, let's go fix
The photos are for Fuss Salon in Toronto.
They're washing my hair, I'm too greasy.
Awesome.
It happens. I wash everyone's hair all the time.
Take this one.
All right, let's go. Are you okay? I keep wanting to call you Claire now. Right?
We gotta change your name to Claire.
You're gonna love this.
It's a place where Liz is about to get her hair done for the first time since she came out a year ago.
I came out at the same time that I was taking gym,
Okay.
and there was a lot of hostility in that environment
I see.
towards me, especially like I was nearly beaten up multiple times.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm in grade 10 now, but I waited until last year to
To come out to people.
Everyone in my family who knows about me is accepting, except for my grandparents.
Okay. How do you feel?
Lightheaded slightly,
Slightly.
but it's okay.
I've heard that my head massages will do that to people.
They're amazing.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, I can attest to that.
How do you feel about styling in general?
I've never really bothered to shape it or like style it at all. Just like,
You were saying to me earlier it was like it wasn't even there, right?
yeah,
Yeah. It was just something that you didn't feel was a part of you at the time.
no.
No.
Like
Yeah.
throughout most of my life, there's been a disconnect, like between like how I feel and how I appear, which is usually the case for most like trans and gender non-conforming people, I'd assume.
Okay, so this is the shot. This is how you want your hair to look. And it's totally that like 80s kind of blunt, but with a lot of volume.
Yeah. I mean, this is my first haircut, like being out.
Yeah.
So it is pretty substantial.
Kristen Rankin owns Fuss Salon and is behind an extraordinary initiative to offer trans youth something as simple and yet as complicated as a haircut.
I think they get a lot of resistance. I think anxiety. I know of a lot of instances where they don't even get serviced, or if they do get serviced, they feel terrible about the service. The fact that they may at this point in their life not look like a traditional man or woman, they are in between, and which can make anyone's head turn, in society because of how our society is. So, we don't want them to have that experience coming into our salons. We want them to walk in and sit down, have a nice conversation, get the haircut they want, and leave feeling as amazing as they possibly can.
As a gay woman, Kristen has always run an inclusive salon. But after a trans client tweeted she'd never had such a welcoming experience, she wanted to do more, for more, and created the Dress Code Project. She partnered with a community group supporting trans youth to offer free styling, and quickly realized how transformational a safe space could be. She remembers a quiet young girl with long hair who was shedding her female identity.
And it was crazy, like as I was cutting off her hair, she was starting to smile. And I have gigantic mirrors in this salon. And this kid who is 17 years old is starting to actually look up and look at herself, I'm getting goosebumps now retelling the story and thinking about it again and being there. And I was told that she was just like lit up, so happy.
Wesley Welch remembers feeling a weight lift off his shoulders. Born a she, Wesley had waist-length hair when he first came to Fuss. Wesley's gender identity has been fluid.
I just want to make you laugh, though.
Right now at 16, Wes identifies as a he.
Some people might say it's just a haircut.
Yeah.
But is it just a haircut?
I wouldn't say so, because for trans youth especially, these things can be life-changing. For maybe transmasculine youth, long hair can be a reminder of the gender, the gender binary that is forced on them, you know, and it can be so freeing to finally get that cut off, and I remember it was for me.
Yeah. What was that like?
Oh, it was wild, going from very long hair, almost hip length, to a short cropped cut. It was completely freeing, and I felt I was expressing myself in an authentic way.
Being true to oneself, it can be difficult for any teenager, but especially for trans youth who face social isolation and are at a higher risk for depression and suicide. Wes and Liz met at this arts-based high school in Caledon, Ontario last year. It's an oasis of acceptance. But they say they went through dark times before coming out to themselves and to others.
It affected a lot of like my my social like awareness. Like I'm socially awkward now because like I wouldn't know how to tell people like, hey, I'm this, like I'm trans, because I just didn't have a word for it, and that made it a bit difficult for me. Like it didn't feel right.
It's interesting that you both felt really sad before you came out. And was that because you felt you couldn't come out at that time?
Yeah.
Yes. I was depressed because I wouldn't have been able to come out safely in the school that I went to. And so it bugged me a lot that like I didn't have that option available to me, you know, like in a safe way.
The experience of not being able to express who I truly was, I wasn't living authentically, and I think that authentically to myself, and I think that's what Liz was trying to express before, and how that's just utterly important for especially youth, for their well-being and happiness.
Mayfield is an arts-based school. The culture here is open, accepting, and Wes and Liz say they're lucky. Their parents supported them through an often confusing transition.
The period right before I came out to my parents, it was emotionally devastating. It was extremely strugglesome to even get out of bed in the morning a lot of the time. But once I did come out, like the moment I told them, like I just broke down crying. It was such an emotional release. And I'm extremely happy that they're accepting of me and that they were accepting of me from the start. You know, I'm incredibly fortunate and I'm incredibly grateful for them.
When I did have that freedom, it was utterly amazing. It was like I was finally being able to show people who I truly was. That sounds cheesy, but it's the truth, right? It was like this kind of veneer was pulled off, and I was finally able to show who I wanted to express.
That support can be critical. Sherburne Health Centre in Toronto offers counseling for trans youth. Adam Ben runs the program. He says mental health outcomes are dramatically better when young people find support, be it here, at home, or a hair salon. The Dress Code Project, he says, is another safe space that sends a critical message.
I think it's fantastic. Again, it's starting to, because when you started looking at the history of trans youth, it really became one where it was just sort of like, I'm a trans male or I'm a trans female, and it still was very binary. But now we're starting to create spaces where people can just be. It's not about the fact that you're this gender or that gender. Your gender is fluid, your gender can change, but we're going to accept you for who you are right now. And I think that's sort of the best part of this story. It's that idea of acceptance.
The goal now, to create a network of acceptance, to go beyond the expected places like gay neighborhoods. Kristen wants to create a directory of salons that trans people can access by plugging in their postal code. And she's starting by offering diversity training to the ones that are interested.
Hey everybody. everybody. So my name's Katie Watkins. I'm a client of Kristen's.
Katie came up with a program that is specifically made for dress code stylists to just learn about inclusion to help us out with our clientele.
Yeah, it's a person-first mentality. It's not, you know, I'm gay and my name is Katie. My name is Katie and I'm gay. All right, so if everybody can get up.
Today's exercises,
I'll put the pole down.
balancing a tent pole together.
Okay, so when everybody's fingers are on the pole.
You tell people, lower it down, lower it down.
Okay, whenever you're ready. So it's taking that into account whenever you have a client that you come in with. It's listening to their needs. It's observing their behaviors of comfort levels, and then it's communicating what you feel is going to be successful for them whenever you're about to cut their hair.
Next, describing objects to their partners.
One round one, one tall, narrow one, and one shaped in a rectangle shape.
You have to recreate the exact design that's on the floor here. You ready?
Yep.
Okay, partners, turn around and let's see how your partner did.
Even Kristen finds it challenging.
So this was laying on its side, that was on top. Pretty close, pretty close. We failed.
Failed. Our two fearless leaders, that's scary.
Does that feel okay?
Yeah.
It is a reminder that it takes work to listen.
And you use the pull button on your blow dryer so that it's going to stay in that shape. It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Especially if you need to hear someone who may still be finding their voice.
It's kind of nice to get your hair blow dried, isn't it?
Yeah. Ooh, very nice.
How do you feel?
Feel good.
Yeah?
Yes.
For Liz, everything about this visit has been a first.
Looks good.
Yeah? Is it weird? Yeah? What's weird about it? Tell me.
Well, I'm just not used to my hair feeling like that. Nice and like clean. I don't know.
But how would you describe it? The emotion that you're feeling?
Overwhelmed a little bit. Like, I'm kind of stunned that this is happening right now. Actually looking the way that I feel, like, it is very strange because like it's just an unusual feeling for me. Like, I've never looked how I felt, and so like now that I am like ever closer to it, is just overwhelming and like very. It's a good feeling. It's a very, very good feeling. I'm very, very happy.
I'm gonna turn this on, and you guys. But come to the center.
A moment of happiness on a road to self-discovery.
All right, give me your best model faces. Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
That needs so little, yet so much, to make it all a little easier.
Yeah, that's it. Claire, I almost called you Claire.
Oh my God, Liz,
you-
change your name to Claire.
When you tilted your
Joanna Rumiliotis, CBC News, Toronto.
That's fantastic. I love those.
You know, just casual like.